when he looked down.
Oh my
Why did
god!
doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Was he just walking around in circles? Where am I, he thought. And the more he found himself unable to answer these questions, the more questions continued to arise, until he came to the issue that had been slowly boiling until he could ignore it no longer. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Suddenly, every door slammed shut. "No!" Stanley screamed. "I need to get out of here. I need to know that there's something out there. I need to know it's not just all in my head." And he screamed and clutched at his skull as the voice grew harsher and the music in the background rose higher and higher. And then, moments before collapsing to the ground, Stanley clenched his fists and screamed to anyone who might be listening, "I'm not real! I'm not real! Don't believe any of it! None of it's real!" And then everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Okay.
Excuse me?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She got dressed, went to work, clocked in, clocked out, and then she walked home. But her walk on this day was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Moments after seeing him, she would turn, run to the nearest police station, and call for an ambulance. But for just a few brief seconds, she merely stood there, unable to move. The tragedy was not the death of a single person. It was that she would never know this man's story, never hear in his own words what had happened to him, or what he believed had happened to him. For to know these things would be to exist inside the head of the man himself. So all she could do was observe from a distance and pity him. But Mariella had places to be and people to meet with, very important people, whose impressions of her would affect her career and indeed the rest of her life. She stood there for only a moment, looking down at the body, and then she ran.
Yep.
He was chiptuned to death.
Oh, man.
That's 3 down.
I think your interpretation about the living in the alley behind the Walmart might have been kind of on the spot.
Looks like it.
I bet I blew your shit there.
Stanley decided to go to the staff lounge to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself and constantly needed support and guidance from others, so the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him. When
If we
Stanley
go
came to
there,
a
we're
set
gonna
of
end
two
up dead in
open
an
doors,
alley again. I don't
he entered
know.
the door on
Oh
his
god,
left.
no.
So what do you think?
Well, the left side has only...
I think there's one more way you can go over there.
Yeah, so I'll go to the right, yeah.
Okay.
This was not the correct way to the employee lounge, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. So he turned left at the first open door and walked back in the right direction.
Nope, not going to no fucking lounge. We're
Stanley
getting
was
outta
so
here.
bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Maybe this is why everyone had left. No one wanted to be around someone as bad at listening as him. And since he was walking into the middle of nowhere and thus ruining the entire story, Stanley decided that he would punish himself. So when he came to the elevator and the doors opened, he stepped inside and pushed the button to go up.
Alright, so if you remember, the button down leads to Half-Life 2.
That's a
Which
game I never want to play ever again. Going up.
Symbolizes hell. I get it. Yeah. So I'm guessing we're going
Very
to heaven.
fitting symbolization.
We are going to heaven, guys. Oh man.
Okay, heaven, here we come.
Oh man.
I mean, we only disobeyed.
Yeah,
We only disobeyed that one little thing. It's not a big deal.
I hope we find our pizza up here.
What is this?
Not even a doorknob.
Pizza? Hello?
Oh, there's this thing.
I wonder what that does. Oh my god!
Next Stanley that he had actually gone and stepped into this metal trap. After all, it should have been no surprise that this thing would lead him to his death. But he thought to himself, this is simply the price to pay for ruining a perfectly good story. So he resigned and willingly accepted his fate, the inevitable end toward which he had spent so long stumbling. Farewell, Stanley.
You can't prove that. You didn't sign anything. Okay?
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator as he sent his subject down the conveyor belt and into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
We're alive! Get out of here! Go!
It's a shame, then, that for all his work, it was such a meaningless victory for the narrator. Did he really think he would accomplish anything by murdering this disposable vessel?
Oh, hey, what's happening?
Oh, there's a wheel here.
Doesn't seem to be
Yeah.
doing anything.
Doesn't really do anything.
Does this new narrator have
Every
pizza?
possible choice Stanley could make had been designed for him long before he ever set foot here. The narrator wanted to kill him. Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start.
There's no start button on my keyboard.
Start? I think she just stumbled into the wrong game, this woman.
Hey, we're free.
There's no salvation for either of these two, I'm afraid. The narrator had as little power over Stanley as Stanley did over the paths that he walked. But listen to me. This story is not over. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now, and it'll be your
Quick,
only true choice.
Get out of here! No! Quit! No! Oh, now we're the thin crust pizza.
Remember how she said that I had to press escape or I wouldn't have a choice?
Mm-hmm.
Well, now I don't have a choice and I have to press escape.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Oh, right.
That was 4, right?
Yep. Now you guys, you were curious.
Stanley decided to go to the staff lounge to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself and constantly needed support and guidance from others, so the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him. When Stanley came to a set of two
Isn't this the
open doors,
5th time I said
he
this?
entered the door on his left.
So weren't you guys curious about what would happen if you powered up the machine instead of powering it down?
Well, all I know is that we're never ever going to get the
Stanley
pizza,
entered the
so...
lounge. He was horrified to find
It's
not a
inside
single
motivation's
person
gone.
here. He decided he would walk up to see his boss, hoping that he would find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Entering his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. It was at this point. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. As he drew deeper into the bowels of the building, Stanley had no idea where he was or what this place held. And just as he began to think he might not discover a thing, he emerged into a long room to find rows and rows of monitors, screens with a number above it. Stanley noticed, however, that these were not random numbers, but the number of employees who worked in the building, his co-workers. Even his own number, 427, had a place on the wall. But why a setup so elaborate, he asked. Was this simple surveillance, or something even more? And as if in answer to his question, the wall slid open before him, revealing the ultimate truth. An enormous control panel, Stanley discovered, but not one that controlled simple machinery. Buttons were labeled with emotions. Happy, sad. Levers and knobs controlled actions. Walking, eating, doing work, or watching TV. Every input on this device monitored not the functions of a machine, but of a human being. And the reality began to sink in. Stanley, like so many other people, reduced to images on a monitor, had been under someone's control, always at the mercy of this machine. Could this have been the only reason employee number 427 was content with his boring job? That a machine had altered his emotions to accept it blindly? He began to feel an unbridled rage, and at the peak of his anger, something happened. A spark. Stanley looked up and saw the generator overhead, still providing some small amount of power to the machine, keeping it alive. And knowing that this generator was all that kept the controls running, Stanley moved to the ladder in the back of the room and began to climb towards the rafters.
Let's see, what do the lights do? Why do they each have their own button? This is very inconvenient.
The buttons turn on the lights, apparently.
There should be one light switch at the doorway. It should
climbed.
all be operated by
The
one.
closer he felt
Who
to
designed
freedom,
this room?
the further from enslavement.
But the narrator did. The guy's a jerk.
I wonder.
I heard that, Maxwell. I do not appreciate being called a jerk.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After it kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself? Is that what you wanted?
Yeah.
Control? Stanley. Stanley.
Is he coming on
I
to us?
applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were meant to let it go, turn the controls off and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do better than that.
Oh
I'm
yeah?
afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you have. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized that he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Oh, let's make it say, 2 minutes. Now,
Alright,
this is
get back
making
up to your
things a
ship.
little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? Go ahead, play with those controls all you like. The real controls are where I'm sitting. Did you really ever believe you held any power? Did you not think I knew what I was doing? When I erased your co-workers and turned off the machine, I was offering you freedom, an escape. I didn't have to do that. I've run this story many times, and I don't always set you free. Sometimes you just sit there, day after day after day, doing your job forever, and then dying alone. But when I actually give you the freedom to control your own actions, it's not enough. I let you go, and you trapped yourself just the same. You just weren't made to handle this sort of responsibility, I'm afraid. But you know what you were made for? Pushing buttons. You get it now? Now I'm enjoying
I
this.
get it.
Tell you
Press
what,
every
I'll
button
throw
and
some
turn on
extra
every
time
light.
on the clock just because I'm having so much fun. There we go. You see, I want to watch you for every long second you try to puzzle this out. After all, it should make sense, right? the timer, the nuclear detonation, the mysterious facility, it's all here. This is a video game. Except for one thing there, hero. You've got no weapon, no vehicle. You don't even know where you're going. When you saw that timer, you just instinctively started trying to find an exit, didn't you? In fact, I bet you're still looking for a way out. I bet you're clicking on everything in this room, trying to open doors or vents or something and solve the puzzle. As though this game has a solution, as though it can be won. That timer is not a catalyst to keep things moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. It's the moment when the hero realizes that despite his best efforts, he is powerless to his environment. And then he lets go. He surrenders. And he dies. 30 seconds, Stanley. 30 seconds. Until a boom. And then nothing. No ending to this story, just you dying. I suppose you could have gotten an actual ending if you played along, but that just wouldn't have been your style, would it? Instead, you'll perish knowing that the only choice you made here was to turn on that machine and to start this timer. But you won't be alone, because I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here to watch every second of your inevitable life from the time we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Oh.
Yeah, no credits on that one.
Nope. And one more.
Okay, I recall there being a red door and a blue door.
Yep. That's where we're going.
Let's do it.
Stanley decided to go to the staff lounge to check on his
This is the
co-workers.
6th time I've been
He
saying
never
this.
functioned well by himself and constantly needed support and guidance from others, so the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the employee lounge, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. So he turned left at the first open door and walked back in the right direction. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Maybe this is why everyone had left. No one wanted to be around someone as bad at listening as him. And since he was walking into the middle of nowhere and thus ruining the entire story, Stanley decided that he would punish himself. So when he came to the elevator and the doors opened, he stepped inside and pushed the button to go up.
Going down, Chief.
Oh, Stanley. You know, you really aren't going anywhere, and I don't say that deceitfully. I truthfully mean that there isn't a story down here. The story was back up where I told you to go in the first place. Right now, you're just running around looking at empty halls. And frankly, that's perhaps even more infuriating for me. So why don't you throw me a bone, give me a chance, and just let me tell the story I want to tell,
Alright, narrator, we'll play your game.
Now listen carefully. This is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Ooh, what's in here?
Good, good. Now, if you don't mind, there's something I'd like to show you. But to do that, I think it would be best for us to start from the beginning.
What?
Oh God! What? He's
This
gonna
is a
flash us,
very
isn't he?
sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
No.
Oh, what? No.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. His
No.
job pushing buttons demanded little of him, so there was not much of himself to give, and in this way Stanley's job felt less and less like his every day. But if buttons need pushing one day, it means they'll need pushing the next and then the next. So without question or judgment, Stanley continued to do what the screen told him. One keystroke
Okay.
flowed into another keystroke, flowed into his ride home, flowed into dinner, flowed into waking up, flowed into going to work, and here he was again. Stanley was typing out a complete sentence that said absolutely nothing at all. If in reality no one ever actually disappeared from the office, and Stanley never got the opportunity to make a decision, to choose which path he wanted to take, would his life still have any meaning? Perhaps when we long for something deeply enough, these hopes and fantasies become so strong in our minds that we truly believe that we're there, controlling that person and living that adventure. To manipulate your own thoughts and emotions might mean freedom from a self-imposed prison, but these delusions can be fatal to those who can't tell the difference. And so, Stanley asked, if that door never opened, if I'll never be able to walk away from those people and from these buttons, is this life still worth experiencing? Am I actually happy? Stanley answered this question by pushing a button. Then he pushed a button, and then he pushed a button. Then he pushed a button. Then he pushed a button.
Oh God.
Well, time to die.
Jeez, what?
Yep.
Whoa.
Feels good game of the year.
Yep.
Damn.
That's the Stanley Parable.
Right. Oh, bloody hell.
Well, we did it,
Yep.
I guess.
I noticed that we didn't get our pizza in the end.
Well,
No.
the thing about that is to get that ending, you have to go on Steam and you have to buy Farm Frenzy Pizza Party. And
Oh, okay.
yeah,
I'm guessing you have to push a button to order it.
you got it.
Oh, I see. Oh,
Are you guys ready to decide to play Brink?
Maxwell said.
I'm 85% through. I'll watch for a while, and if I get done while you're still playing, I'll jump in.
Alright, where's is Drackle there?
Hi, I'm here.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh,
where were you?
how long have you been there?
Oh
The whole
God.
time.
Jesus.
Oh, he's narrated the entire time.
Oh my God.
No.
Is my mic? How do I sound right now?
You crackle
Normal?
sometimes.
You sound like Drackle.
Okay, because my microphone does a thing where it starts to sound really weird and scratchy, apparently, and I don't hear it, so I don't know when it's happening.
It kind of does.
Sounds like a loose cable on the mic or something.
It's
Yeah.
not
It's a
too
USB, so I don't know.
Whatever. It's Brink o'clock.
If it bothers you, just let me know and I will mute it.
Okay.
I will try to find a somewhat empty server and join on me.
Okay, and you've all got the game and the DLC?
Mm-hmm.
The free DLC? Which I think they said they were going to release in the middle of June, and they said they were going to release in the middle of July.
Stanley, why are you playing Brink when you could be playing my story?
Apparently that game was in like a work in progress for years.
Yes.
I don't know
Oh,
how,
Stanley,
but
yeah.
years.
I thought you were talking about Brink, because in that case, Brink probably still is, or should be.
That was
Yeah.
too, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow!
Is that still super? Oh, I can press this button now, so you don't have to hear
I
it.
just shat my pants again. Great job.
Okay.
Great job, narrator.
you don't have to hear
scared
that.
me.
Okay, yeah, that's my man.
So the new Brink DLC came out, and I I haven't played it, so I haven't actually played this for a
Yeah,
while.
well, to recap, the reason why Brink is broken is because they weigh most of the maps in favor of the defenders, which leads to
Right.
this sort of endless spawn camping rape fest on most maps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then
Is
they
that a chastity
released
belt? There's a lock on it.
this DLC, which adds these new abilities that are very, very good for defenders.
Cool.
Nice.
Okay, just give me a second.
So this game came out, I forgot, June, July, or uh,
I think early June,
early June.
maybe even
they,
May. I forget.
And now that I don't know, some of us played it, I guess we're going to talk about it. Like things that could be improved and why it's...
Those are Brink post-mortem.
Yeah. What?
Who had nothing to do with the creation of Brink.
Yes.
I remember when I bought Brink a few months ago. I bought it because I thought it was Rage, because it was a game published by id. Boy, was I disappointed.
Oh, they changed the name of Rage.
Fortunately,
This is,
I bought it on
it's
I
not-
bought it on direct to drive, and they didn't have a key for me when it was released. So I bitched at them about it, and they gave me a refund. So I got it for free. But the problem was, I used my refund to buy Duke Nukem for
you just lose at life.
So you're just gonna get a refund and just go on an endless chain of buying bad games.
I mean, I
Not a bad idea.
couldn't find any DLC, so
So, have they released a bunch of patches since?
yes.
Have they changed anything the maps, or the maps still?
Nope, they did not rebalance
No.
the maps. They rebalanced the guns at least.
Now, the guns, I actually never noticed much of a difference between them.
Oh, there's a pretty
Wow.
big difference.
Is there?
Yeah, like
never
the assault
noticed
rifles are more useful, and the
that. Right.
submachine guns are less useful. Because it used to be just the submachine guns were the best thing.
You guys
Right.
gonna join on me?
Oh,
Aren't
okay.
all the guns submachine guns? Like, I looked at them, they were all just kind of fast-shooty guns.
Hold on, I'm enjoying the fun part of the game, which is where you just play, dress up with your man.
Why not? I do
Yeah.
like the art style. That
Good
the
art.
famous Tim Buckley did not agree with.
I've got launch match on invite.
Yeah, I
Okay.
just clicked on it and it should play.
All right, I think it's happening.
Beautiful girl number 2. This
Is this an Italian server?
I don't know why.
Rebecca, I never knew you were so into Italian women.
Does this mean we're finally gonna get our pizza?
Oh,
Don't worry, the ping's not that bad.
Man,
I hope this game.
every
doesn't
map
have-
starts with 2 cutscenes that require different key presses to skip them.
what? Really?
The first cutscene is press any key to skip. The second cutscene is clicking the button in the corner to skip.
Am I a medic? I don't... Hey, oh, I am. Okay.
Hold on.
This looks like it's running great.
Hey, I see Maxwell Adams and Hunter on my team.
So
Oh, hi.
another thing is
what
that this game has 3 body builds, and heavy. There's no point with heavy whatsoever.
Selleck is saying I must hate my viewers. This game must hate my video card suddenly for no reason because I'm getting 3 frames per second.
You're
Oh
sort of,
boy.
Your ping is like in the 600s.
Hold on, it's
Damn,
evening out.
Do you see my guy? I'm right in front of you.
Okay, it looks like I'm down to 120 ping, so that's sort of...
you both look like twins. It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, I'm not on your guys' team.
Oh, good, Zebek. I get to
what?
kill you for the many times you keep referencing Dragon Age 2 in front of me.
I have never had any performance problems with this game, and suddenly it's running like crap, even though I ran it 10 minutes ago. Or
Maybe it's because somebody Evic joined an Italian server.
could be that.
Or wasn't it
The
when
server
the-
message said worldgov.it.
Yep, and it said something about Italian women too.
Beautiful Girl 2, which we've either joined an Italian server or a hentai game. Somehow.
Oh, that's mine.
All right, I'm the soldier, so
myself
I'm
up.
gonna get in there and.
Oh no, why do that instead of tooltip? I'm trying to hit the grenade button, but I hit the tooltip button instead.
Oh, Nick. Oh, I got shotguns in the back.
Oh no!
So when
All
the
right,
game had,
all right, I'm gonna do the thing. I'm gonna get shot.
Do it.
I'm shot.
so the game had a bit of a disastrous release.
Oh, yeah.
The game couldn't run on ATI cards like mine, for example. Well, it did run.